Whoever she was, I must have scared the living daylights out of her. Fellas, variations and gentle ladies thereupon, this is 100 Things I've Learned from Phil. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Planty, and joining me today from Newcastle we have Chris Ramsey.
Alright.
From Northern France we have Gérard Depardieu.
Bonjour.
From Yorkshire we have Sir Patrick Stewart.
All right.
And from Bristol we have the entire cast of Skins.
Right, babbers!
Welcome. Before we get into the show, please consider becoming one of our sexy, incredibly cool patrons to help us divide and conquer the podcasting world. Details are in our show notes, but mainly check out our website, modernescapism.co.uk, for more exquisite content and links to everything we do. Oh, we're tricking you. It's me, it's Oodles, and this is Modern Escapism. You fell for it. Oh, we just changed the title.
I was wondering whether you were going to give Planty's Patreon out there.
Subscribe to them as well.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
But all I need now is a massive, massive dose of biggest breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's Breaking News.
So, guess what?
What?
We've been nominated for an award.
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
For those who don't know, Crowd Ultra is a part free all-in-one event, an audience interaction app. And the awards that they do feature over 100 categories. Among segments, they provide value to including events, podcasting, event talent, and event planning. But we're not sponsored by them. We have nothing to do with this.
It sounds
so
like
after
that.
receiving 1,000 nominations, they narrowed it down to the top 5 fiction podcast nominees. These podcasts stood out among the rest and should be celebrated for the quality of their work. Those selected were determined by a mix of submitted nominations along with our expert panel's assessment on a multitude of considerations, including quality, community, and uniqueness. Yes.
Thanks, Phil.
And we were in there in the top 5.
We are.
I don't know how, but we have. Do Dragon Stream of Scorched Sheep has been nominated.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know how? It's incredible. Gadget should be proud.
I've been buzzing all week.
Absolutely.
I've
awesome.
been unable to fit through doors. My ego has gone through the fucking roof.
And no one has come forward to explain how this happened, so we're completely in the dark about
They've listened to it, clearly.
Chuffed.
Yeah. But
That's how it works.
the ones we're up against, so we're up against 4 of the podcast called 1001 Sherlock Holmes Stories.
Shite.
The Truth.
Shite.
West Side Fairy Tales. And
Shite.
one called Chad, a Fallout 76 story.
That's proper shite.
I voted for that one.
But yeah,
Okay,
I have
that's
actually
not
heard
how
of
it
Chad the
works.
Fallout story. It's,
So we're in the
quite an
fiction
infamous
category.
one.
Is that what we've got it on?
sorry, what was that, Oodles?
Yeah.
Is it the fiction
Yeah,
category?
top fiction podcast. So
What about topical podcast? Modern Escaping should get nominations, especially with this kind of news broadcastery.
I know, but we are the only D&D podcast in there as well, so that's something as well.
Fucking-
So if
Yeah.
I mean, if they're saying they had 1,000 nominations for fiction podcast, if we're the top D&D one, that's fucking good by my attitudes.
Yeah, boy. I don't know a better one. I've
So
never
yeah,
listened
thank
to any
you
others.
to, if you're a listener, thank you very much for putting us forward, but we knew nothing about it.
Cheers.
It's awesome. I'm well happy.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Well deserved.
And speaking of awards,
Considering we're like, I was just saying though, considering the 5 of us literally had no idea how to play D&D, it was all brand new.
Yeah.
It's all doing this role playing stuff was kind of brand new to us all. Like,
I like
I
how you
feel like
say
it still
had
comes
no
across that
idea.
way.
I like how you said had no idea. I still don't know what I'm fucking doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, that's the fun.
So
That's the fun part of it.
at this point, obviously, I'd love for us to win it, so we can say we're an award-winning podcast. But I'm just buzzed that someone nominated us, and that a selection panel have thought, yeah, this is good. Like, that's enough for me. I'm fucking over the moon with this.
Imagine which episode they listened to. I wonder which one it was.
Ooh,
I hope it's the one where Stigveld tossed a bear.
I kind of hope it's the one where you fight the meat monster at the end of season 2.
I hope it's one with the
God, no.
musical number in it.
Well, it could be the one of these. I just like the idea of judges listening to to us going over three rounds of combat with treble just like putting a pan of oil, burning oil in front of the creature rather than throwing it over it.
What if they think, God, that theme tune's really good. Who sings that? Let's get them a record deal.
That'd be nice.
No, never again. Been stung by that before. Next.
So yeah, speaking of awards, it's been a bit of a busy week as the Game Awards were announced on Thursday night, I believe.
Yes.
At silly o'clock in the morning. And we've got a long list here, so just going to rattle through it. And if anyone wants to jump on any of them and discuss it, then please do. I've just picked out the ones that I thought stood out to me. So very weirdly, the show started with a pre-award, which I just didn't understand what they were doing.
They did it last year.
Yeah, they always have a half an hour pre-show while Jeff's carefully lacing up his special trainers for the night.
Yeah.
It takes them half an hour.
Lady to do it. That lady in the
How lovely bright and white they were.
Yeah, they get someone else to do it. And it's usually indie games that get announced then, or like stuff that doesn't want to pay to be on the big show.
Yeah. And there was a very weird, unexpected appearance from Al Pacino, who couldn't read the autocue particularly well.
He was just pleased to get out.
Yeah, he did look a little lost, didn't he? And then we had this emphatic speech from Christopher Judge, who won the Performance Award for
He droned on a bit.
Kratos and God of War. And it went on for some time.
Yeah, he got
Skipped
orchestrated
it.
off.
He went on about as long as the game.
Yeah, I skipped it a bit. I was like, all right now, mate.
I saw a news article that said he hadn't even finished as well. He was still going.
Oh, yeah.
Still
There was a
going today,
musical
now.
music number playing in the background. I thought it was part of it. It was so weird.
No, the music's to say, fuck off the stage. It's like the Oscars thing.
But it sounded like it was a build-up to what he was saying. It was perfectly timed.
He does look
They went
fucking
in-
brilliant, though, doesn't
They
he?
let him go on a bit long, I think. Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
It's nice that he's taken the Game Awards seriously, but there's a
Yeah.
fine line between seriousness and maybe a little bit of self-indulgence.
Mm.
It's not the Oscars, is it?
Just thank your God and fuck off.
Yeah. Well, I did get
Ricky Gervais.
I did get a little chuckle when he called Cory Barlog a real motherfucker. I really like that.
Mm. But speaking of them, what was announced, so there was a cinematic for Dead Cells DLC, which was returned to Castlevania, which I don't think anybody saw.
Just give us Castlevania, please.
Yeah, that's all I can think about.
I mean, Dead Cells is great, but I don't want to play Dead Cells in the castle in Castlevania. I want to play a Castlevania game.
I hate that Dead Cells. You always go straight back to the beginning. I know you're supposed to in those kind of games, but you get so far straight back to the beginning. Fuck off. Can't be asked. Lovely game.
So Sony's
hard as fuck.
delivering more of its exclusives to the PC. So Returnal and Last of Us Part 1 were both announced, coming out next year.
That's going to be
I quite
every game they do
Sorry.
now. Several
Yeah.
months later, they'll end up on PC.
Yeah, they're not stupid. They know where to get some money from.
Last of Us Part 1 is also expected to be working on the Steam Deck because it's being used in Steam Deck advertising at the minute.
Yes.
Mm.
Mm.
One I like the look of, no idea how it'll play, is Hellboy, Web of Weird or Word.
Mm.
I think it's
Looks
Web
good,
of
doesn't
Weird.
it?
It's a roguelike action adventure, but it has the comic book style of Mike Millar.
I
think it
reckon it'll
really
play
good.
like Hades.
Well, speaking of which, Hades 2 was announced.
Yes, it was.
Looks banging.
Yep.
I mean, it looks more of the same,
Funny.
which was banging in the first place.
Just sexy gods.
More sexy gods, please. There's a Silent Hill-esque horror game called Post Trauma. I like the look of that. It's got all the fixed camera stuff.
Not
thought that looked
convinced
pretty
on
cool.
it, but
Mm.
I missed that.
might be.
Looked a little bit janky.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see more of it. I mean, I'm all for more
Yeah.
like fixed camera horror. I just need to see more.
But at least it showed the gameplay. I hate all the trailers that just...
Oh, yeah, it was
tease
only
something
about
that may or may
10
not be in the game.
10 trailers of the night which actually had any fucking gameplay in them.
It's always the concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not actual
Yeah.
game footage. No shit.
But one that did, that I thought looked fucking amazing, was the PlayStation exclusive first-person puzzle viewer viewfinder, which I thought looked amazing. Really cool.
That weird Clash of Graphics one, where it looked like they were kind of putting photos over it and it changed the
Yeah,
scenery.
and
that
then you
looked
could walk
cool.
into that. It just looked like something different. I liked it.
It'll probably only be like
Yeah.
4 hours long, but it looks cool.
Yeah. There's one called After Us, a new atmospheric adventure game published by Silent Division. Due out
After
next
Us
year.
is such a bad name.
Yeah, that was.
I like the atmosphere of the background, and there was like a huge bones of a dog, and then it turned into covered in grass, and its soul came out, and I just thought it looked really cool, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool looking side scroller, probably based in the 80s, called Replaced. I like the look of that. That looked really cool.
That one looked really cool. It's a pixely one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
That looked.
Animation looked really good on that. I don't know how to feel about Street Fighter 6. The trailer looked really cool, but I feel like I'm in the wrong age group that it's aimed at.
They're putting too much into it, loads of weird things. Like, it's not just a fighting game anymore, it's everything.
It's an adventure game as well, isn't it? It's got like an open world adventure shit to it.
And they were saying online, someone was saying that there's like dancing mode and stuff where you like rhythm action. I'm like, what the fuck is Street Fighter? I just want to bash people.
Street Fighter 5, wasn't it? It was released with almost vanilla content. There was literally nothing.
Yeah, they're
in
doing
it,
the
so
opposite with this, aren't they?
To everybody, and just put everything in it.
Yeah.
Isn't the issue really that Street Fighter 5 essentially was just Street Fighter 4 but looks a little bit prettier?
Yeah.
So you have to do something
more
a bit
expensive.
Didn't have many characters.
You have to do something a little bit different.
In Capcom, we
just
trust
the hip hop kind of graffiti stuff looks cool, but I just feel like it's aimed at teenagers and not me, which is a shame.
You're a hip hop maestro. You should be into it.
BioShock is back, or is it? The developer Ken Levine announced Judas, and it looks like BioShock.
It looks like BioShock in
really
space.
cool as well.
And I'm into it. Entirely.
I'm so into it.
Yes.
Give it to me right now. I need it.
Yeah, just insert it into my brain. I'm just, yes, I want it. Because like
I finish. You don't want it now.
Well, I know, but I've been a huge fan of Ken Levine's games. Like I've loved him all the way from System Shock all the way up, like all the stuff that he's worked on. In fact, actually, no, it was Thief. No, System Shock was first, then it was Thief.
Yes.
So yeah, his storytelling is fucking unparalleled. I know BioShock Infinite was a hot mess in places, but the story was great.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think that was actually the highlight of the show for me.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Get a grip.
After talking about it last week, Destiny 2's expansion Lightfall had a massive trailer.
That was.
And I'll tell you what. Yeah, I just don't know. I was not expecting that.
It's practically the same synthwave trailer that did at E3. It looks dull. Like for all it's kind of flashy and bright, it's Destiny 2. Like I find it's impossible to get excited about Destiny 2 because I don't play it.
Yeah,
like I liked how the original game looked.
Yeah, also that as well. But like,
I really did.
It feels like they're advertising to their own existing audience. They can't bring anybody new into it because of the way they run the game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Stay with us, and you can have Destiny Punk. You'll love it. It's so neon, baby. Neon RGB, baby. Fucking boring. Sorry, I'm drunk. It's just hit me.
Just drunk on stubby beers, everybody.
I'm at about 10.
Next up, I had a Rocksteady Suicide Squad. What was that?
He said he's had about 10. I said it's still only a pint's worth.
It is only a pint. Yeah, it's about 3 pints.
Next up is Rocksteady Suicide Squad with a touching announcement that the late Kevin Conroy would be involved.
I think this is in bad taste, and I love Kevin Conroy so much, but they're going to kill Batman in this.
Do you think they're going to kill Batman, or do you think it's?
Did you see? I did actually like when Captain Boomerang accidentally chopped Flash's finger off.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny. That was funny. I'm like, okay.
I did. Yeah, I also like that. You know, Harley Quinn saying, "Oh, don't worry, Batman doesn't kill people," and then he drops a corpse and flicks them. It's just like, oh.
I hope. They don't kill him. I know it sounds weird because it's killed the Justice League, but I think
they're brainwashed out there, so you won't kill them. They're just
no.
The storyline.
It's same as the Injustice storyline. That's what they're basing this from, where Superman goes nuts and crazy and everyone starts being bad. Yeah. I hope it's good because that Gotham Knights was whatever it's called. That's a
different team, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually Rocksteady.
This is Rocksteady. You've got pedigree, so
it's probably going to be good then. And they've seen what happened to that, so they're like, "Come on, guys, let's knuckle down. Let's make a good game."
We're going to get a PC port that works, though, because Arkham Knight did not work on PC for about 2 years.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh.
not asked. My consoles are more powerful than my PC at this point.
Consoles, baby.
Next up, Respawn's Star Wars Jedi sequel Survivor is coming up next year.
That looked great.
He's got a beard, hasn't he?
Very good.
I avoided it because I still haven't played the first one yet.
I don't even care. I go on record to say I loved the first one. I thought it was brilliant.
I need to give it another try. I played it on Game Pass
I
ages
dropped
ago
off
and
it.
didn't get very far in it. I might give it
I
a
think
try.
it's sensational. It's a secret Metroidvania. It's Souls-like and all that mixed into one. It's just it's lovely. It's really good. And if you like Star Wars, it makes it even better because there's lots of references to it. I think you should push through it. The first 2 hours are not indicative of what the actual game is. You just got to push through.
Fair enough.
I think it's brilliant.
Next up is a game from a developer you may have heard of, Hideo Kojima.
Never heard of him.
It is, of course, Death Stranding 2.
It's called DS2 actually.
Working title.
All right.
DS2 is such a shit. I hope it's not that.
It's not. It is.
It's not called
Kojima
that.
said it's a working title, so it'll probably
Yeah.
be something completely different.
It's
Death
the
Stranding
sequel no
2.
one asked for, but knowing Kojima, it won't be like the first game.
No.
I can't imagine it being a delivery simulator this time round because
No, I don't think
all
so.
the deliveries have been made. You know what I mean? I reckon it's something a bit more survival. I reckon it's, judging from the trailer, spoiler alert, I assume to be BB. That little kid got killed, didn't it? It looks like a bit of a revenge tale, maybe.
I think there's definitely going to be more action in this one.
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be more of a straight up like combat game. It's probably going to be tying knots and stuff like they did on the last one. He's not,
Lots of crying.
Lots of crying. I did like the drawbridge spaceship thing. I reckon that's going to be your own base.
Mm.
It's got it looks like Higgs with a guitar. Why not?
I mean, the thing did say Troy Baker was in it, so it means Higgs is in it.
It might just be a clone or anything. You don't know with Kojima. This is the thing.
Oh no, you can't
be
second guess anything from Kojima.
Yeah, this could be just bait and switch. It might not be Death Stranding 2, knowing him.
The person with a guitar is Liquid Snake.
Possibly.
Brother!
Imagine.
I've dived deep into the realms of Reddit as soon as the trailer was announced. I've watched the trailer about 1,000 times, and I keep trying not to get too hyped and too into it because I know we're probably not going to get it for another 8 years.
I reckon back.
I can't keep up that level of hype for that long.
You got to remember, he's got the Decima engine all in place now.
Yeah.
So that's the hard bit done. So
He's working on something else as well. So
Yeah,
on
whether this
Xbox,
is-
he's doing an Xbox One. He's doing a
Yeah.
PC game as well, isn't he? Doing two. He's doing
doing
3
something
games
with
now.
Elle Fanning and somebody else.
No, Elle Fanning's in this.
She's in this. She's in this.
I was going to say it's probably involved in that.
Yeah, all these.
But
all
he's
these
doing
leaks
3
of different
projects,
actors.
isn't he? At once. He's
Yeah.
doing 3 projects at the moment, and that's rare for him.
Well, yeah, because he's usually working for somebody else.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't
Or it gets
destroy
cancelled.
the process. Because he says he's doing his Death Stranding, which is going to be like his flagship. He's doing that game for Xbox where he said something along the lines of, "You're not expecting this." So I reckon it's going to be like something simple, back to his Boktai days and stuff like that. Maybe Zone of Enders. Oh,
I don't think
I'd buy
so.
I'd buy an Xbox for that.
I know.
Yes.
Next up, there's a story and gameplay teaser for Tekken 8. Look pretty cool. And a few characters.
I'm
also
a little
released.
bit more excited for Tekken than Street Fighter. Weirdly enough,
Yeah, me too.
I always
I want more
am.
Tekken.
Tekken's I love
Yeah.
Tekken.
Yeah, I want more Tekken.
It's going to be weird to have a Street Fighter and a Tekken drop in the same year. I don't think that's happened for
Not for a while. Not for a
decade and a
long
half.
time. Yeah, not for a very, very, very long
Not
time.
since Street Fighter X Tekken.
Yeah.
Oh yes, love that game.
'Cause both developers are really bad at releasing games regularly.
Apparently, people have been playing Tekken already in Japan, haven't they? So, not fully, just
An arcade machine, pumping in money
Yeah.
into it with the fighting
Yeah.
sticks. Like the good old days.
Hunting Hawkers, Hwarang. Oh, I love Tekken. Love it.
Next up, Larian Studios announced a release window for Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm so fucking
I was blown
excited.
away by that myself.
Oh yeah.
So excited.
I love Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale. I love all that shit.
I said this in our Discord, but I was laughing. I was watching some of this because I was struggling to sleep, so I put it on for a bit, and that just happened to be at the same time. And people were in the comments in the chat going, "It's Kratos! It's Kratos! What the fuck is Kratos?"
It's not Kratos.
doing in it?" I was like, "Fuck off! It's not Kratos." Like, Kratos wasn't even a concept when Baldur's Gate was around.
Yep. It's the best, and it's the original version
Minsk,
of D&D on video games.
Yeah.
The only one I
Minsk's little
really
mouse.
knew. I love Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, all those. I just fucking adore them.
It's gone woke now, though, apparently.
Oh no!
Because two women were kissing. Oh no!
Oh god!
Even though I
Mad
think it's your
D&D.
character and another character, so it could just be a male or a female. You know what I mean? It's
the romance options you could do in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were fantastic.
yeah.
Disgusting.
It does-
You've
it's-
got to
Brigade
laugh when
out
people
again.
comment on stuff like that. And you go, "Have you gone back and looked at the originals?"
Yeah, it does.
It's
It does look great, and it's got controller support, so you'll be able to play it on Steam Deck. But I'll probably also that'll be one of the few games that next year I'll play it on my PC itself, because you need that
I feel
art
like
style.
you need a mouse, mate. That's what you fucking need.
What we'll have to do is play it properly ourselves, and then do a multiplayer run on it.
Yeah.
As the Scorched Sheep Party.
Yeah,
Yes.
just because
Ooh.
I couldn't not stick to a timeline and wait to carry on. So
Yeah,
play it
I'll be able to
myself,
play it on
and
my
then we'll do
laptop, but
do a
it'd have to be
multiplayer
like
version.
really. It'd have to be really low quality, but you won't see that, so it doesn't matter.
They also announced the collector's edition for it, which I fucking want so much, but it's 260 fucking
do it.
euros.
Do it.
Don't
It's
do it.
got a
You-
massive statue of
Plastic tart.
Don't do it.
of an illithid fighting a drow. Come on!
Don't do it. The game probably won't be in there. Don't do it.
Just get someone. You know,
I'll
with
enter a
3D
competition, I'll
printer.
win it, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
will
do
win it
that.
for you.
Big-
You win something else again this week.
I know, lucky bastard.
Fucking wanker.
What? Hate them, man.
Moving swiftly on. It's Diablo 4. Yay!
Next.
Next.
Although interestingly, the limited
Probably get this,
edition,
to be
collector's edition, does not apparently include a copy of the game.
Nope.
Nice.
Unshockingly.
Well done.
And it's,
If you can afford that,
is
you can
a
afford the
fact,
game
Or is
separately.
it just that
That's a fact.
you'd expect them the copy to be there anyway? So this is the rest of the stuff that's in there. Because
no, it is just not there, flat out not there.
You just buy tat.
yeah,
What does it actually cost though?
I guess if you're going to buy that, it's your own fault.
100 quid in it.
Hang on a second. So for PlayStation,
If you can afford a collector's edition, you can afford the game separately. Fucking hell. You're one of them idiots. Am I right, Candy?
Absolutely.
Still using that Fallout bag?
Why do you always have to come for me? I've got 2 Fallout bags.
You still using them?
Yeah, because you've got the original Descent
Yeah,
and then the replacement.
Exactly. I got the nice one and the shit one.
Great
The
quality.
shit one must be worth something as well, wouldn't it?
Probably.
I
I think it's covered in mold now.
yeah. So it's
That's a lie.
it's $100, and in it you get the Candle of Creation, literal candle, cloth map of Sanctuary, Diablo 4 Collector's Edition art book, occult mousepad,
Oh,
pin of the Horadrim, and 2 matted fine art print sized.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Like, it's only 100 quid, so that surely, like, if the game was in there, you wouldn't get all that stuff.
Yeah, if
So it's not actually that bad.
if it was 160, which is what seems
Yeah.
the collector's editions are coming out now, and after the game, I'd be pissed off. But
yeah,
I
the
also
problem
think
is they are calling it the Diablo 4 Collector's Edition when it's not there.
they're calling it limited collector's box. That's what they're calling it.
Oh, are they? Oh, that's fine then. It's not false advertising at all.
Like, if like I said, if it was $160 to $200, you'd expect the game, but the game is $60 to $70 anyway. You're not going to get all that stuff for $40, $30.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Not
Still,
in a million years.
wankers.
Yeah, wankers.
Next up, Don't Nod's next game is an action RPG called Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. I just like the idea of that. It looked pretty cool. It's the one with
Don't Nod have got it.
your-
They're a bit hit and miss at the moment, aren't they? Sometimes they have a good game, sometimes they're like, I really liked Vampire. I didn't like some of Life is Strange.
Banishers just looked really generic. Like there was nothing there that kind of hooked me into it.
Yeah, it did look a bit generic, didn't it?
I liked it. I thought it looked cool.
They're hit and miss, those guys.
New Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is announced.
No, it's already been announced. There's just a new trailer for it.
Cool.
Looked great.
Oh, there you go.
Years of War in the Warhammer universe. That's all it is.
Gears of
I reckon
Warhammer.
I'd like those games. I need to get in there.
The first Space Marine was out on the 360 and it was fucking brilliant. I loved it. It was just a big dumb game. You're a Space Marine on a Forge world knocking the shit out of orcs. What more do you want?
Was Rogue Trooper Warhammer? I remember that game.
Yeah, that
blue guy.
Yeah. There was Tau. Yeah,
Is that actually Warhammer?
yeah, it was Warhammer. Yeah.
Guess what? I've played and completed a Warhammer game.
No,
Rogue Trooper.
wait, hang on. No, Fire Warrior was the Warhammer. Rogue Trooper was the 2000 AD one.
Oh, yeah, of course it was. I never read the books either. I've never played a Warhammer game still.
Next up, Meet Your Maker. I thought it was a bit interesting. It was a building raiding game coming to consoles and PC next year.
What was that
The one where you
one?
build a base, you try to stop somebody coming in to
The Dungeon
raid it, I
Master
guess.
one.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I reserve myself for the ones that there's too many, and I can't I'm waiting for Sons of the Forest. I'm not interested in anything else. If I can't make a skeleton chair out of the body of my enemies, then I'm not interested.
No, you don't want much in life, do you?
True barbarian shit.
No, I want to make a skeleton chair that I can place on top of my house and sit on it and look out at the enemies as they try to get in. And then I also want to make effigies out of their body parts.
I don't think that's sociopathic
Nice.
at all.
No,
No.
my fucking
Standard
psychic
Stig, though.
meter was very low. Like,
I bet it will.
Really should see Stig Street. It's
Rotter.
Not for kids. The Lords of the Fallen got a new trailer. It's a reboot of the Lords
Still
of the
makes
Fallen.
me laugh,
I
this.
thought it looked pretty cool.
it's not
Very
gameplay
Dark
though.
Soulsy.
The problem was
The trailer for the last one, also called Lords of the Fallen, not the Lords of the Fallen, looked good. The trailer looked
Yeah.
good.
That's the one we absolutely need to see gameplay for before I can make any opinion other than the last one was shite.
Oh, so bad. Imagine Dark Souls, Biggie, but even heavier and slower.
Oh, God, no.
And actually
I've changed
unfair.
my mind.
Yeah, and
Like,
actually unfair.
the game actually cheated you.
Yeah, imagine
No,
that.
I'm out.
Embrace it.
I'm also out on this one that was announced. The crime boss Rocket City, first-person shooter heist game, but the cast was
Thingy
interesting.
turned up, didn't he? What's his name turned up?
Michael Madsen, Chuck Norris, Vanilla Ice. I mean,
Is Michael
for it.
Madsen dead? Did they Weekend at Bernie's him? Is he actually dead? Because he's like this.
He might. I was worried he was actually dead for a moment.
Because he walked in like this, and then this guy did this weird Irish accent. Sorry if he's really Irish, but it sounded pretend.
It sounded like Americans do in Irish.
Yeah, and he was just hanging there going, hey, I like video games. I'm like, do you? Michael, you look dead. Christ. Honest to God. Love it, though. Gotta love it.
regular guest on this pod, Cyberpunk 2077's DLC Phantom Liberty
Anthony.
was revealed, and Idris Elba's in it. Idris Elba.
Is that what you think Idris Elba sounds like?
He does a little bit, doesn't he?
Lufa. He's Lufa.
Oh, fucking hell. I thought my voices were bad.
They are bad. Next up, there was a big surprise, and Oodles was probably just blown away by this. From Software announced Armored Core 6, The Fires of Rubicon, which is a fruity drink, from what I remember.
Fires of Rubicon. Come on, get hype. This is the game of the show.
I'm hyped. It looked great.
Oh, it's going to be so good. And in the press release, they have confirmed it's a Souls-like.
Which I think a lot of Armored Core fans are pissed off about.
I'm not, because the last one was quite Soulsy, but the original one was.
Yeah, I did see someone on Twitter saying, "How do you dodge, step aside, wind a missile?"
Like with rockets. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to be in my big mech suits. Oh, I hope you can create your characters, create your mechs. Oh, it's going to be so good. People are going to say on Twitter they're going to be like, mechs are cool, aren't they? I'm like, guys, I were there in the beginning. Mechs have always been cool. Oh, I can't wait. Is there going to be a special edition of this with a massive mech?
Wouldn't put it past them. Bandai Namco are publishing it, so there'll be some kind of special edition.
Oh, speaking of them, their new logo's shit.
It is. It really is, isn't it?
Looks like Wimpy. It's crap. But yeah, I'm so
Wasn't
fucking
Wimpy.
psyched.
Was the world premiere of the new trailer for Final Fantasy 16. And it
Looks
pretty
good,
cool.
doesn't it? Doesn't it look good?
Look
It's
great.
like 12. It's like 12 and more adult. We've got medieval Final Fantasy again.
Candy's not impressed.
Not sure. I'm not sure. I'll play it, but it's not really speaking to me yet.
Is it because it's not twink boys in a car?
No, I got over the Twink Boys and car when I was about 20. No, I don't. I can't put my finger on why it's not hitting. But I think I just like Final Fantasy games have had their day a little bit. Maybe it's because I'm just.
Fuck off.
Maybe it's because I'm old and miserable.
Candy, right?
Probably.
This
You
is
played Final
definitely
Fantasy 12.
the Final Fantasy. This one, the Final Fantasy.
If you play 12 and tell me it's a bad game, you don't know games.
I played
12.
12. It was bad.
Yeah, 12. No, it wasn't. It's perfect
Terrible.
score in Famitsu. Come on.
Those are the
Absolutely
only
terrible.
ones I haven't played.
Don't do
I
it,
love
Candy.
10. I
Shite.
love 7, 8, and 10.
Shite. They're all shit.
9. Hello, 9.
No,
Hello,
didn't
9.
like 9.
Hello,
Oh,
6.
fuck off.
Yeah, no, I will fuck off. But no, 9 didn't do it for me.
Hello, Chocobo Racing.
Hello, GP. Yes.
This one's not
Better than Mario
turn-based,
Kart.
so I'm well in. The new one.
They haven't been turn-based for years.
Still.
Well,
12's not turn-based.
no, 12 is turn-based. It's just you can free move around. It was
Yeah, I
15,
suppose.
15 was the first one where you had real-time combat.
Yeah. Yes, it was. I'm pumped for it. I want like adult Final Fantasy. I'm an adult, and I've grown up with this series.
You're an adult in this with the body of a child.
Look, you can't discriminate against my body like that. That's not fair. It's body shaming. Just because I'm a real boy.
Lift you up my little finger.
What's that, Pinocchio?
Please. I've only got a little nose.
See, I said it right and everything. Just going to roll through a few little other stuff. Xbox is preparing to join everybody else by raising the prices of its major new titles to $70.
People buying disc Xbox games.
I think that's
Game Pass.
I think that's an
It's
effort
the
to push more
dumbest
people
thing
towards
ever.
Game Pass.
They're not doing it for more money. They're doing it to say for people, to go straight to Game Pass. They want to get rid of that production line, 100%. Microsoft would love people to just use Xbox like everyone uses Steam. That's it.
Can't
Cool.
wait for the special edition of Starfield, though. I wonder what I'll get.
Get a real spaceship.
You won't get the game in the box.
No.
Next up, Elden Ring. Can preview your worth in various duels and battles by rolling a lot with the free Coliseum update coming in December.
It's already out.
Oh,
but
December now. It's already out now, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Already
randomly just the tweeted out on Tuesday. Hey, this drops tomorrow, and immediately the internet went woohoo.
More on that later.
Gorgeous indie game. Thanks to Stiggy for getting me onto Gris. Is now going to get PS5 version, so I may go back and play that again.
Oh, it's such a good game. Such a good game.
Running at 4K, 120 frames per second.
I would have never played that game and Hollow Knight properly if it weren't for Stig's evangelical way of saying, just play Gris, just play it. And he weren't wrong. You weren't fucking wrong at all. I bawled my eyes out playing that game.
Yeah, same.
It's
It's an
awesome.
experience. It's not a game. It's so rich.
Agreed. That soundtrack, man.
I'll play it again. In a heartbeat.
Microsoft has invited Sony to join Nintendo and Steam to sign up to its 10-year Call of Duty deal.
Yay.
Got him by the balls.
If they're not sued.
Yeah, because that's still ongoing as well.
Yeah, they're not sued out their asses.
Sonic co-creator Yuji Naka has been arrested a second time for more insider trading. This time for Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier. So he's been a naughty boy.
Man can't
That
help
man.
himself.
I love him. He's such a rogue. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just running around Japan being an absolute boy. I love it. Non-conformist. He's such a punk. He's just running around. Oh, I love the man. Just let him run amok. Just let him run wild and see what happens.
No, because then we'll get Balan Wonderworld 2.
Yeah, just do it. It's
No.
chaos, mate.
No.
We need that chaos.
Can't have another one of them.
I played 4 minutes of Balan Wonderworld and I uninstalled it. Your character runs really slow. It's awful. Awful. Love that guy, though.
Speaking of awful, Ben Studio veteran John Garvin has taken to Twitter to share his thoughts on the title of Days Gone's subdued reviews. And yes, he said some things.
Because the reviewers were fucking wrong.
He said, the crazy thing is, nothing changed. That game, that game director Jeff Ross and I were responsible for. Gameplay, missions and story. All that changed was code cleaned up their shit. So I guess bugs, streaming and frame rate matter. Funny that Jeff and I are the ones who are gone. Huh.
Days Gone is a fucking exceptional game. I've
heard good things about it. And then he went on to blame tech
brilliant.
issues, reviewers who didn't finish the game, and woke reviewers couldn't handle a gruff
There
white
you
biker
go.
looking
There you go.
Oh, I don't
his
like that.
Instantly.
arse.
Sorry, that instantly just turns me off.
Yeah.
Your point. You had a
Yeah.
good point. Your first 2 points were good, and then you threw in the woke word because you want the
Yeah.
fucking hits and you want people to talk about it. It's a fucking trigger word now that people use just to try and drum up some
I didn't know he
interest.
said that. He's a prick for that.
I mean, to be fair, John Garvin has been consistently an arsehole.
Yeah.
It's still a fucking exceptional game, and reviewers were wrong and they didn't finish it.
So naturally,
I'll back
Ben
up- I'll
Studio
back him
came
up on
out and had to release a statement. We're aware of the comments made by our previous creative director on Days Gone regarding his personal view on the critical reception of our intellectual property. Ben Studio does not share his sentiment, nor does it reflect the views of our team. Our studio is immensely proud of the work we accomplished on Days Gone and are thankful to every developer who poured their heart and souls into it. We are incredibly humbled by the support of our Days Gone community, and we will continue to share our enthusiasm for our world and characters as we look forward to the future.
If you type in Days Gone in YouTube now, every video is "We were wrong about Days Gone." People now it works. It's such a fucking great game.
Days Gone's fine. I enjoyed my time with it. I didn't finish it, but I enjoyed what I played of it. I just like the because there is a fair level of complexity to the character of Deacon. But I like how Garvin just kind of winds it down to that he's a gruff white biker looking at his date's ass. It's like, is that what you took away from the character? That he's not the most well detailed character ever written, but there is a bit more to him than that.
Sam Witt was brilliant.
Yeah,
as him.
Sam Witt was fantastic as Deacon.
It's fucking sensational, and Boozer is every character in that's really good. And yeah, they start off shit because they're in a fucking motorbike gang. They're deplorable people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they have to grow when the world ends. Basically, it's such a good game. I'm going to play it now. I'm leaving the podcast.
Permanently.
No, not that one.
Stig's 2022 Film of the Year, Black Adam, is projected to lose 50 to 100 million in its theatrical run. Insiders have said the film needs to make closer to 600 million to break even. Warner Brothers have now claimed 400 million is needed to break it. Production budget was 195 million. It's now being looked at as a box office flop.
And then The Rock came out with a tweet saying he'd spoken to the financiers and financed him or whatever, blah blah blah. And it actually has made profits of up to 75 million, which is still not very good.
No.
No.
Also,
He's
imagine,
really
imagine
proud of his little baby, isn't he?
Imagine being the finance people and just having like your lead actor just ring up and go, "Yeah, I want information to put out on Twitter to show
Hey, it's
people."
Dwayne. Just want to know, can you send me a copy of the books, please? I want to see the books.
And you
He's
drink,
weird,
put
man.
everything behind this, and his whole brand is behind
Yeah.
this film. Bless him.
He wanted to be the next Superman and he failed.
Yeah, but he can always just keep pouring his tequila in his pancakes. So.
Cheat day.
Speaking of which, the DC Universe, the Hollywood reporters claim that the Snyderverse will be no more. Wonder Woman 3 is cancelled, Man of Steel 2, and any more Aquaman films have all suffered the same fate. They're trying to do a shake-up. Although Jason Momoa may be in contention to play the character of Lobo, which might be interesting.
If they're getting rid of that continuity, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Because he suits Lobo. massively, more than Aquaman. So
Yeah.
I'm
But
up for that.
they're still prioritizing Superman. So Henry Cavill is still going to do a Superman project.
Because he's
So-
a really successful Superman.
I know,
though, isn't he?
but it's like
Critically
we're
and
getting rid of
everything.
this continuity in this universe, but we're going to keep this Superman. It's just still going to be
Yeah, it's going to
confusing as
confusion
fuck.
in it. Yeah, but
And then
look
it's
at
like-
him.
and then
He looks like
Peacemaker,
Superman.
Like, was a success. Is that going to get a second series? Because that's within that continuity. That's one of James
Probably
Gunn's
not.
own projects.
Oh yeah.
Probably not.
Like, it should do because it was fucking great.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I wouldn't be bothered about keeping this universe and these actors and these characters, but just hire a better. Well, they've got James Gunn now, so that's one step. Hire better directors and writers. That's all you need to do.
Or
It's
just
like I said
have
to
a plan.
Gadget. I said to
You have a plan.
said to
Hire the
Gadget
right
in
people,
the,
and you can pull this round. You can successfully within 6-7 years get this on track.
Yeah,
to a
course you
big
gotta.
team up kind of film that they want to do. It's easy enough to do. It's just they didn't have a plan. They tried to rush it. They tried to go against Marvel by just throwing everything. Snyder's, I will forever say, wasn't the right person. Didn't understand the characters.
Mhm.
Can make a film look gorgeous, but when it comes to the characters, that's the second point. You don't care about that.
like I said to Gadget in Discord, they took all the fun from DC out of these films. They are goofy books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are goofy comic books. Nothing was fun. And when they did try to put fun in it, it didn't make sense in that universe because it wasn't a fun universe. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have many jokes in Nolan's Batmans because he set that tone, didn't he?
Yeah.
But Batman can be daft. You know what I mean? And Superman is extremely daft. The man who can't die, you can't win him. Make it daft. You know what I mean? There's so many characters that they can draw. And like Lobo should be like a Deadpool type anti-hero and stuff. They're just gonna make it serious. Oh, I'm Lobo. Oh, you know what I mean?
They won't
They just
now.
need to. They better not. They just need to have some fun in it. That's why Marvel worked.
You've
Because it was
seen
fun.
what James Gunn does. Like,
Yeah,
if there's a
he is
character
fun.
that's meant to be like that, he'll make the character like that.
I've got all faith in him because he picked a random group from the Guardians of the Galaxy, that not even the main group, and he made it work.
Same with Suicide Squad as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just picked all the random ones because he knows that there's such a backlog of characters that you can just really bring to the screen, make into stars, make people love Lobo. I know there's people out there that think Lobo's the best book going, but they've not had their day in the sun yet. Let it happen, man.
No.
Let it happen. Fuck
But
Black Adam.
speaking about
Shite.
shake-ups, Marvel's doing exactly the same thing. After Bob Iger's return as CEO at Disney and negative feedback from Phase 4, they're looking to shake up what they've got planned.
That's because to listen to me and Stig. Stick to TV. You're good at that. It's just
Well, and speaking of TV, Mike Flanagan is getting his wish. The series adaptation mastermind behind Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Club, etc., has now apparently got his dream project. It'd be to adapt Stephen King's The Dark Tower series. Please
Is it?
get that. That's what he
That's
wants to
good.
do. Whether he'll get it, we'll have to see, but that's what he wants.
that's good because Dark Tower needs a series rather than a fucking. That film is so funny. It's so bad.
Let him do it, but with HBO Max, just because
Yes.
so he gets a good budget,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and not Netflix because they'll cancel it after one
Yeah,
series,
Exactly.
even if it is good. I don't think he'll trust Netflix again, to be honest.
No, we should go to Amazon. They don't mind throwing money at it.
Amazon, yeah.
Jackie Chan has confirmed Rush Hour 4 is in the works, the movie we've all been waiting for.
God's sakes. No.
Yeah, can you more Rush Hour?
If you
Oh god!
if you want something funny related to Rush Hour, go listen to the sequelizers doing Rush Hour 3. Because that film is terrible.
So racist, all of them. So racist.
Especially the third one.
The first one's
Yes.
great.
First one's great.
It's still.
Second,
It's,
Great.
everything goes downhill from the second one onwards.
I do miss Chris Tucker though. I'm missing loads.
Man found God.
I know.
We're nearly there. Classic Alfred Hitchcock horror The Birds being remade, and Scarlett Johansson is in the lead role.
I like her.
I like-
Pointless though.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't much of a story to it, was there?
No,
I like the film. I think the film's good, especially
yeah,
for its age.
there's no need to remake it though. It's like brilliant as it is.
I like the concept though. I think
They'll make it so they've got
good with
like avian flu or something. They'll make it more grounded.
CGI birds.
Yeah. I don't think whoever's directing it's going to traumatize their actors
Let's hope not.
by hurling real birds.
do. Let's hope they do.
That's what he did, yeah.
Wasn't the original Tippy Hedren?
George. Yes.
Throw some fucking
George
birds
R.R. Martin says he only has another 500 pages to write on
Fuck
Winds
that
of
guy.
Winter.
Next.
When did he say that? When did he say this?
This
When
week.
did he actually say this?
This week.
So, judging from Stephen King's ethics, he should have had the book finished now. If he said it a few days ago.
So-
Only has 500 pages left.
Yeah.
Like, that's not just like a normal book.
So, I mean, my book's 342 pages. So yeah, it's a lot more than some books. The I think someone on Reddit was doing the maths and the kind of work there. Like at his current writing pace, it looks like this is going to be nearly a 2,000-page book. I wouldn't expect it for another at least 3 years, given his current writing
are you-
pace.
Going to die before
Are you
he finishes
with
them.
books? Are you guys like me, where if a book's too big and cumbersome, you can't like really get absorbed in because it's heavy?
It depends on how well it's written. Like that To Sleep in a Sea of Stars that I read this year.
Mhm.
That was 900 and something pages. It's probably the thickest single novel I've ever
It's a
read.
tome, though, that isn't it? It's
Well,
a
that one had
tome.
me gripped within the first 3 pages. Like it
I'd
was.
rather have like 3 different
know-
paperbacks.
Weirdly enough, the biggest book I've probably ever read is
The Bible.
Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, that was
And I,
the
and I,
longest
and
Harry
I
Potter one, wasn't
absolutely
it?
flew through that one.
Is it big?
Like-
Is it a big book?
Yeah.
That's like 700 pages, I think. Yeah, I read it in about 2 days.
Yeah.
I like a book.
I used to be able to read
compact.
books quick when I was younger. Now it fucking takes me like a year.
I love my coffee table books. Obviously, I've got fucking loads. I love them, and I skim through them. But you've literally got to have a coffee table to read them. Do you know what I mean?
If they're too big, I just go to
do
an
love
audio
them.
book.
Yeah, I do like the smell of a book, though. Oof, that smell.
Or Kindle. I've just moved to Kindle because it's just easier.
Yeah, I suppose, but I do like a book. Paperbacks,
Plenty of them.
More of them.
Loads behind me.
loads of books.
And to
All Harry
finish
Potter.
off with the World Weird Web, dolphins thought to be one of the most intelligent species in the animal kingdom, and experts believe they put their ingenuity to use in the pursuit of getting high. In extraordinary scenes filmed for a new documentary, young dolphins were seen carefully manipulating a certain kind of pufferfish, which, if provoked, releases a nerve toxin.
What?
Although the large doses of the toxin can be deadly, in small amounts it's known to produce a narcotic effect, and the dolphins appear to have worked this out and how to make the fish release just the right amount. By carefully chewing on the pufferfish and passing it between one another, the marine
Pass, pass,
mammals
puff.
then enter what
Puff,
seems
puff,
to
puff,
be
Pass.
That's it. That's the one.
a trance-like state. And the behaviour
20
was captured on
dolphins,
camera
baby.
by the makers of Dolphins Spy in the Pod,
Wow.
a series produced for the BBC.
I want to watch Stone Dolphins all day.
They're thugs, aren't they, dolphins? They just like to fight and fuck and get high.
Have I told you that time I did swim with? I might have done when I swam with dolphins and I put my finger in its blowhole and I got told off by the instructor.
I'm
not
not
surprised.
surprised.
Don't wanna
He
come
said
back
that's
as a
not for
dolphin."
fingering, and it made me laugh so much.
Were you high?
No.
Oh, they fuck
no.
each other in the blowholes as well.
Yep.
Yeah, they skull fuck each other.
Yeah. I remember that Ricky
I love
Gervais
dolphins.
thing when he was kind of, he had it on the screen.
Yeah.
He's just like, he is fucking him in the head.
Yeah, I got told off for it. Dolphin loved it.
I did it now.
Yeah, good.
Maybe he told you off because the dolphin might turn around and try and do it back to you.
Bring it on, dolphin.
How did you get that dip in your head, Oodles?
Well, funny story. Excellent.
But that's
Well
it.
done. That was the
Jesus.
bumperiest bumper news ever.
See you next week.
So let's have a really quick Nexus. I'm going to start. I've been playing Chained Echoes. I told Gadget to get this as well.
Which I have.
Have you put anything into it?
Yeah, I've put about 4 hours into it, I think.
Isn't it well written?
It's very incredibly well written. I'm just at the point where you've got,
expect it.
got your full party and you get out the castle.
Yes, yeah. I'm about probably about an hour further than you, mate. I've been taking this one slowly because I'll admit some games like this, like tapping A just to get. But it's so well written and fleshed out, and you love the characters. For anyone that doesn't know, Stig, you won't like this. It's a 16-bit JRPG basically.
It's
So
got,
you won't be
it's got
into it.
massive Final Fantasy VI feels about it.
Yeah, and it's got awesome turtle racing.
Yes, the turtle racing was fantastic. I very much enjoyed that. I lost every bet, but I wasted all my money on it.
Yeah, me too, mate. But yeah, I haven't got far enough to really dig into that. But something I did put a lot of time in this week.
Well,
Elden Ring.
I tell you what, before you move on to Elden Ring, though, the one thing I will say about it is, if you like JRPGs, the way the battle system works, the character switching is fucking brilliant, because most of the time with JRPGs, you have like a roster of like 8 characters, but you can only have 3 or 4 with you at any given time. This one, you just stack them against each other and you substitute people in and out. You don't lose. Yeah, you don't lose turns on it. It's fucking brilliant. You can get someone in for like a utility spell, then send them back out and get the other person in, and then at the end of every fight, you get all your HP and magic points back.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Love it.
And there's no random battles.
No.
Yay!
It's fucking lovely.
It's really good.
Music's
really
great
good
as well.
But yes, music's really good. But I've been told that you get mechs in this game, and I haven't got one yet.
Ooh.
So I'm looking for mechs. But yeah, Elden Ring. I'm back in, guys. The game I platinumed months ago. Coliseum. Oh. Gadget, have you been in yet?
No. I dare not yet.
So people that have been listening to this podcast know I had an addiction to the unofficial fight clubs in Elden Ring. If you don't know what that is, it's where it's PvP and someone becomes the fight master, where they let everyone invade them, but you don't hit him, you don't touch him, and you let other people, and you just fight. You just fight in a ring, and there's rules that you abide to, and you only know the rules by looking at the emotes that he's doing. It's really
very nerdy.
Fucking. Oh, I put fucking hours and hours into it. And guess what? From Software decided they want to be the Fight Club owners now, and they've opened up the Coliseum. Oh, do you know how I don't usually like multiplayer games?
Yeah,
I do like them when I'm fucking brilliant at them. And I am an absolute god on Elden Ring. I am the man. I have not lost a match, and I have had 32 matches. I have not lost a single fight. I've done 3-on-3. I've done 1-on-1s. It's so good, and there's prizes to be won, and there's lore implications as well, which probably indicates more DLC. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's PvP focused. It is multiplayer focused. So if you haven't got like PS Plus or whatever you're paying it on, you can't play it. But it's Gadget. There's more costumes to wear.
Oh no! Yeah, the fashion souls has gone on, has it?
Oh, it's so fucking funny. People teabagging again. Do you know what I mean? It's gone back to old school. Oh, it's just, I don't know. There's just something about it that when rules are put in place, you can't break them anymore. Like with the fight clubs, you sometimes invaded people that didn't know they were in a fight club, and they just went, they just destroyed the host and stuff like that. But with this, it's just. Remember, was it Dark Souls 3 when they had a multiplayer mode where there were like arenas?
Yeah, they had the multiplayer arenas when the first DLC dropped.
Yeah, there was inklings of that being really good. This is just perfected.
This one's actually good.
Don't worry about your levels out like that, guys. Don't worry about that. You can go in level 1 and still be on par with everyone else.
Nice.
Oh, it's just so fucking. If you want more from Elden Ring, the game that keeps on giving, and I don't know, you just feel like smashing something. This is just so fucking. And again, I haven't lost yet. I feel like I should be on some kind of record somewhere. Like, this guy is really good. And it's rare that I can say that about myself, but I am really fucking good at this. So any of the listeners want to challenge me, bring it on. So, yeah, that's why I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring. I can't get this game out of me. No. I can't do it. It's game of the year, man. It has to be. It has to be. It fucking has to be. Please give it a try. Candy, why don't you start playing Elden Ring, mate?
Oh, no. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. Not at the moment.
Too much
I'll help you do the final boss.
Candy.
What's that, Stig?
Got too much self-respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so she'll play Fallout 4 for the 900th time.
Do you want to know what I have been doing, though?
Yeah, because you're next.
I thought so. I watched 2 films, actually. One of them just quickly, because it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
I watched Troll on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Me and
God.
Stig been talking about this.
I'm literally in with you on that. I was
Not bad enough
it.
to be good, and not good enough to be good either. It's just
crap, innit?
Yeah, boring. Shite.
It's crap.
So I
trailer made it look good.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's not Roland Emmerich's Godzilla level. Like that's
Yeah.
what.
I think it's shit.
With
I
a
think it's
with
really
a
bad.
when I said Toodles with a Poundland Christian Bale, like that army guy, it's like a Poundland version of Christian Bale from Terminator Salvation.
Yeah. I think it's shite. Absolute garbage.
It was shite. But what
I know people like it, but you're wrong.
Do people like it though?
Yes.
Oh,
People
God.
like it.
They need to get a grip. But what I did watch was Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh,
And
I saw that today.
I'm interested to hear about this.
Yeah, so
I am.
this one's also on Netflix. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I sort of went into it a bit tentatively because Guillermo can be a bit hit and miss, especially when it's something that's not horror.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's really good. It's handcrafted, proper stop motion, and it's the attention to detail in these models are just insane. Like I had to kind of keep reminding myself that it wasn't computer animated. Like you can kind of see like the dirt underneath their nails and everything. Like Geppetto's got this beard that moves. It's just really pretty. And Pinocchio himself, I think he was fully 3D printed. So where they would have, when they would animate normally, like people, like if they're moving their mouth, their whole face would move and everything. But this is literally just completely like, it's only his mouth that moves. So it makes it look like wood. But it follows the same kind of story beats that the Disney version did until about halfway through, but it's kind of a reimagination of the original story by Carlo Collodi. It's set in.
Did they go to this Monstro in it and stuff like that, the whale and that?
Yeah, Monstro the whale is in it, although it's more of a monster than a whale, I would say. But yeah, it's set in World War One, so like a lot of Guillermo del Toro's work, it's got kind of the wartime.
He loves doing that,
overtones.
doesn't he? He loves doing that.
Yeah, it's got the wartime overtones in it. It also gives a brief backstory of Geppetto when he actually, like before Pinocchio came along, when he actually did have a son, and he actually lost his child in a when their local church got bombed.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, it explores kind of themes of loss and father-son bonding and what it actually kind of means to be alive. And the cast is amazing. So you've got Ewan McGregor, Finn Wolfhard, Ron Perlman, David Bradley, Tilda Swinton, Kate Blanchett, Christopher Waltz, who's brilliant, and I recognise his voice immediately. Bern Gorman and John Turturro. And it does have musical numbers in it as well, and they're actually pretty cute. They're quite catchy. But Guillermo del Toro actually wrote some of the lyrics, so that was that's pretty cute. But the spirits,
It's got a user rating where mostly 10s.
yeah,
It's really fucking highly rated.
yeah. Well,
He takes a swing at fascism as well, which is nicely done.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Always nice to see.
But again, like visually, like the monsters and the spirits, that you've got the spirit of life and death, and they look so much like classic Guillermo del Toro monsters. Like they kind of look like seraphims. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's creepy as fuck. And Pinocchio himself looks super creepy too. Like he doesn't look anything really like a proper child. He looks like a sort of
like
gnarled,
a tree.
Yeah, like a tree, like a gnarled piece of wood that, and he's sort of asymmetrical. And it was because Geppetto carved him when he was drunk. So it looks like he's had a lot of time spent on the one side, and then he's just kind of finished it really quickly on the other. There's actually there's a documentary as well. It's only a little half an hour kind of mini documentary. And if you're creative in any way, if you do like to see how it's made, it's really interesting. It focuses on the animation rather than the acting, but it's really interesting to watch. But I'm not sure how much.
Yeah, my daughter loved it.
I was going to say, because I wasn't sure how much younger children would enjoy it, because it's not. I mean, it's
a family
kind
film.
of lighthearted, but not really. But I think it could be kind of off-putting because it looks a little bit creepy. I mean, it's not scary. It's not a scary film in any way, but it's creepy in the way sort of like Coraline is. You know, that just got kind of creepy kind of look to it.
Yeah.
So she enjoyed it, did she?
Oh yeah, absolutely. She was all over it. There was the one scene with the steak and the fire, which she just turned away from. She just said, "Can I let her know when it's finished?" And he didn't get hurt anyway, so it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, really enjoyed it. It's really worth a go.
I saw a clip of like when he lies and his nose grows. I thought it was quite inventive rather than the way he did it. That was quite cool.
Yeah.
And the one of the favorite things I saw about this film on Twitter this week was someone posting my favorite film of this year and least favorite film of this year is Pinocchio.
Yeah, right. It couldn't be more different than the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
totally.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Disney,
the
Disney
Disney
released
redid.
their live action
There's
version.
a
Oh yeah,
Tom
Disney
Hanks
did one with a sexy fish, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it was awful.
Yeah, I
It
remember.
was.
All right, I've only ever seen the first Pinocchio. Oh, I will watch that. 'Cause I love him. He's a cute little man. Well, he's not little, but I love the man.
He is adorable, and in that little documentary, you get to see his shining little face again, so it was lovely.
Yeah, I loved him on Cabinet of Curiosities when he's
Him shuffling onto the
Suits
Oh,
that
like a
way too
weevil,
big
innit?
for him.
with his big old bug eyes. Oh, look at
I
him.
love him. Love him. What a man. Excellent, excellent. Stig, what you were doing?
I also watched a Netflix film this week. A film called Entergalactic.
Intergalactic.
Entergalactic, yeah. It's a adult animation. So I would stress that this is
Is it now?
an adult animation. This is not for kids. Like, regardless of how it looks, like in the trailers and the pictures, like this has drugs, sex, language throughout the whole thing. So it's not for kids at all. It's this animated film on Netflix. It's a promotional project for Kid Cudi's latest album. Originally, it was meant to be a series because the film is actually split into, I think, like 5 or 6 sections.
Oh, he's in it, isn't he? He's in it.
Yeah, so but they've released it as a full-length film instead. It tells the story of its 2 artists, Jabari and Meadow, who are neighbours. I think Jabari moves into the building and becomes neighbours, and they fall for each other. It's basically a rom-com, but it's really good. It cuts out a lot of the cliches and just tells us really simple, down-to-earth story. I really liked it. There's it's really low key. It's got cool, interesting, like I said, down to earth characters. Ones that you could just spend time with. I wouldn't actually mind some more, like another, a TV series or another film with these characters. It's well acted. It stars, it stars Kid Cudi himself, Jessica Meadows, got Timothée Chalamet in there, Vanessa Hudgens, Keith David, Louise
Motherfucking
Guzman,
Keith David.
Macaulay Culkin's in there for like a small part. It's got quite a few other R&B stars as well, like lending their voices, but they all do a really good job. Like the conversations in it feel real. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you watch a rom-com and the stuff that people say and come out with, and you're just like, nobody speaks like that.
You had me at hello.
Yeah, like just the shit that comes out of people's mouths in rom-coms, and you're like, just no one speaks like this. No one does these huge monologues to each other in the rain. Like, it's just all
No one
bullshit.
stands there with placards saying, "Don't tell your boyfriend. Tell him it's carol singers."
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this just feels natural. The conversations the characters have, the conversations that the friends have with each other, and that he has with Meadow and everything, it all just feels real. Like like the kind of stuff that would happen in the real world. The animation style, I absolutely loved this animation style. It's full of like pastel colors, like really thick lines, like shadows, kind of like comic book-esque. It really reminds me of some of the stylistic choices used in Into the Spider-Verse.
The pictures I've just looked at look like that. Look like Spider-Verse.
Yeah, so you can see that it's definitely taken its inspiration from that. It moves at a low frame rate, so it's not smooth. It's got
Deliberately,
it's deliberately got this like weird frame rate drop in the movement, but I really like that. In a world of Disney films and DreamWorks, when you do something different, it stands out and it works.
Place for it in there.
And I really liked it. And at times it pops into like there's like the music playing in the background, and then something will happen, and then it'll kind of go into a music video-esque like scenario, like a dream sequence scenarios, which are really like eye-popping and really good looking. The soundtrack is incredible. Like, it's in perfect tandem with what's on screen. So obviously he's made this album, and then they've obviously created this project after, so everything fits perfectly with the music. It's not like, oh, we've had to find a track to fit this scene. It's the other way around. I really liked it. My friend just recommended it to me. Just said it's not a lot of word about this. It just seems to have dropped, and that's it. Like typical Netflix, just drop a project
Again,
on there.
it's got good reviews as well.
Yeah, they drop
People
a
are loving
project on there. They don't really do much about it, and then you hear about it from word of mouth, and that's kind of how I've heard about it. So it's like an hour and a half long, so it's not even that long.
Perfect.
It's just, a really good film with some really nice characters to be around, and very enjoyable. So I would definitely recommend watching it.
Excellent. Thank you very much, mate. If you've got another thing, you can do that in the green room. Gadget.
All right. So first of all, I finished.
Hang on. Actually, Gadget. I'm not going to pick you first because I know you've got something to say. Biggie. That man. I'm going to let you brace yourself a little bit, listeners, for Gadget to chat. I forgot about this. Biggie. Apart from collating the world's biggest news segment, what have you done this week, mate?
So if I've not been playing COD, I managed to play a little bit of Midnight Suns.
Yes, mate.
It's a tactical role-playing game by Firaxis Games in collaboration with Marvel. It features various comic book characters from the multiple Marvel comic properties, such as Midnight Suns, Avengers, X-Men, and Runaways. It's basically around a story which you play as Hunter, this character they've created that gets resurrected from the dead in a sleep of like centuries ago, some previous battles against Lilith, who is dark magic.
It is Lilith.
The daughter of Dracula, I believe.
Yes. Oh, wow.
She's
I
resurrected
didn't know
by
Lilith.
Dr. Faustus of Hydra.
Yeah.
He brings her back from her eternal slumber. And then, you basically are playing XCOM, but with Marvel characters. It's really cool. I like the combat is basically XCOM. So you go into a map, there's characters that you've got to fight, and it's a bit of a card battler as well, because to fight anybody, you have to use randomly selected cards from your characters. You can have buffs, you can have straight out attacks, healing, you name it. It's really cleverly done. It's done within, obviously, people that know what they're doing with those type of games. So it plays really well from a combat side. When you're not in the battles, you go back to your base of operations called the Abbey. And then here it goes all a bit weird. It's got this RPG element where you can run around the Abbey and find stuff that's hidden. You can collect masterwork comic book covers and then remove the classic paintings that are hanging up in the Abbey and replace them with comic book covers. You can chat to your characters a bit like Mass Effect, so you start to build up your relationships with your characters and help them on side missions. We can give them gifts, and it goes all very Sims-like. It's all very odd.
No.
It's a very weird combination.
My favorite one that I saw, I think it was in Skillup's review. He highlighted that you could, Oodles, you know Blade.
I do.
Ultimate
Daywalker.
Badass. Yeah. So one of his interactions is to, he invites you along to a book club he has with Carol Danvers, because
fuck off.
But he only set up the book club with Carol Danvers because he has a crush on her, but he doesn't know how to say that to her. So he invites you along as a kind of a third wheel so that he can be with her but not be awkward.
That's
Blade.
Fucking brilliant.
Can't wait to see this in the MCU.
Blade. No. Blade does shag Captain Marvel. So
I know, but
that's a thing.
But Blade not having any game? Seriously?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I imagine that's more raw and animalistic, not like, can you let that girl that I fancy know that I fancy her, please?
I'm telling you now, right? Wesley Snipes and Mahershala Ali, they have got game. They have got game. If they wanted a woman, they'd get her.
But Steve Rogers is also in this book club, and he goes to it because he thinks Blade wants to be his friend.
Oh, so cute. He's a man out of time.
Really weird kind of what shouldn't work, but it just weirdly works, even though it's bizarre and campy and goofy and
reel off some of the characters that are in it, mate. Some of the main characters, just so I can get a grasp of who's in it.
You start off with the tutorial covers Iron Man, Doctor Strange. Then when you get past that, you end up meeting Nico from Runaways. She's there. You got Reyes plays Ghost Rider, the younger.
Oh, is it the one in the car?
Ghost Rider is there. Yep. You got Blade, obviously, as mentioned. That's as far as I've got with the main character, Captain Marvel.
He's Magic not in it, because she's in it, Midnight Suns.
playable.
Oh, sorry, Magic's there as well. Yes.
Yeah, Colossus' sister.
Yeah,
Yes.
playable roster includes Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Blade, Ghost Rider, Magic Hulk, and Nico Minoru.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one from Runaway.
That's
And
weird
then
that they've mixed some of the like magic ones with the technological ones.
And there's been 4 more marked as upcoming season pass characters in Storm, Venom,
Yes.
Deadpool, and everyone's favourite, Morbius.
Oh, it's Morbius in it.
Yeah.
It's Morbin time.
But there's
That's awesome.
in-jokes, there's Easter eggs, there's cheeky nods and fan service. The films
How
and
does
TV
the game
series are
play?
referenced in different ways. And
Morbius
it's
is
this
definitely saying
weird...
mob in time then.
Better do it.
Yeah, it's just got this weird kind of... It's that in between the original comics, the Marvel universe, and this sort of universe in the middle. It's really odd.
Did you ever read
combination,
Midnight
and-
Suns at all?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
No.
it's so good.
But I will do after playing this. But yeah, I'm
So good.
kind of enjoying it. It is exactly as it is. It's an XCOM game, but it's got all this other weird stuff that shouldn't really be in the game. It kind of works, but doesn't. It's very hard to
I've heard
explain
it's
until you
mega
actually
long
play
as
it.
well. Like it's like an 80-hour game.
Probably. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm definitely invested in it. But yeah, I love XCOM. I got well into that, so I'm enjoying the fact that it's made by them, so it plays well enough. It does have some issues. XCOM 2 used to crash repeatedly on the PS4. I would imagine you'd have a similar issue with this. I'm playing it on the PS5, and I've had not crashing, but just some clipping issues, some janky movement and stuff like that. So they may patch that out, but they never
Yeah,
did
if you
on
play like
XCOM
War
2.
of
So
the
I'm not getting
Chosen
my
nowadays.
hopes up.
You play War of the Chosen nowadays, it's a completely different game, isn't it, Gadget? It's completely like
Yeah.
mixed. It's just fucking stunning. I'm banging
Yeah,
to this.
I
I
like
just
it.
don't
And
want it to
I
be 60
definitely
quid.
like it with the card basis as well. It's basic. It's not too dissimilar to Snap in its own little way. Where
Shut up.
your
Don't
cards
fucking
need to-
say that.
your cards, the cards that you select will buff your characters, or they'll do attack moves, and you're actually overwhelmed at some points with lots of enemies coming on the screen. So,
Yeah.
because obviously you're playing a superhero, so it's got to be a bit of a challenge. But if you use your cards right, you'll get the outcomes you want.
Can't believe they've used Lilith. I wonder if Dracula turns up.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, so I recommend it at the moment.
I can't wait. I just want it to be less than 60 quid because it's 60 quid digital at the moment.
Unless you win a code, isn't that right, Biggie?
Yes, baby.
Unless you win a competition. That's right. That's right. It's a Firaxis game, so it'll be 15 quid in 2 weeks. I'm all right with that. Excellent, excellent. Right, the moment you've all been waiting for. Gadget.
Right,
Come on.
okay. So
You've got things to say, haven't you, pal?
I've got things to say. Before I get into the things I need to say, I will say, finished God of War Ragnarok this week. Fucking beautiful. Loved it.
Oh, I'm
Really
finishing
way
it
to
tonight.
You will be hearing a spoiler cast
Yeah,
very soon.
yeah, we're going to do a spoiler cast next week for it. But the main thing I'm going to talk about is, and you've all been on the edge of your seats waiting for this one, I'm going to talk about the Callisto Protocol.
And it gets to go on the pod art now.
It does. So, for those of you living under a rock, Callisto Protocol is the new game from Glenn Schofield, the guy who brought us Dead Space. It's from his
Game
new
of the year.
studio, Striking Distance, formed originally as part of the PUBG team, and then they became their own thing. It's really weird.
They were going to do a PUBG horror game, weren't they?
Yeah, this was supposed to be a PUBG game, and then it became something else. So, the Callisto Protocol is, according to Wikipedia, a 2022 survival horror action game. Okay, so I have thoughts. I'm going to get the good stuff out of the way first.
Let me just tell the listener as well. Gadget has been waiting for this game
I've
all
been
year.
so excited for this.
Patiently, he's been saying it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Let's see what his thoughts are.
Okay, so the things I like about it first. This might be the best looking game I've ever played. At times, the lighting engine and the detail in the graphics, the detail in the facial animations, puts God of War to shame. Like, I'm serious. This
Don't they
game
have great
is
teeth
fucking
as well?
beautiful. You up?
They have great teeth as well.
They have
don't
great
they?
teeth as well. Spectacular facial animations. Like, they are so
Sweaty.
good. Josh Duhamel plays Jacob Lee really, really well, given the kind of character he's got. All the actors in it do really good work with what they're given. So that includes like Karen. Is it? Oh, what the hell's her surname? Karen Fukuhara and Sam Witwer are the other two kind of bigger stars in this.
Karen
one.
Fukuhara from The Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So the sound design is brilliant. The concept, I love the concept. There are some wonderful moments of presentation, like because the game is set on the moon of Callisto around Jupiter, in Black Iron Prison. There are moments where you get to see some wonderful vistas and some wonderful presentations. There are some great reveals, and the music is fantastic. And that's about where the good shit ends, because I'm not happy with this game in the fucking slightest.
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
So,
Oh dear.
let's get into it. The description that Wikipedia gives you, survival horror action video game, it's not right, because there is very little survival, there is very little horror. This game is not fucking scary. There's a lot of action in it, and none of it's fucking interesting. This game, I'm going to say, this game isn't a bad game. It isn't a bad game. The problem is, it is an absolutely forgettable, dull as dishwater game. It's not exciting to play the action sequences, and it's not scary to play the horror sequences. It also does not have an original thought in any of its code. Everything is ripped off from everywhere else. So obviously the big thing was that all the comparisons that, this is going to be like the spiritual successor to Dead Space, because it's the Dead Space guys, and like, from the original kind of concept art and all that, we saw that, it takes a few things, like the design of Jacob's suit, the fact that he's got his health bar and like a little hologram on the back of his neck, stuff like that. Also, he's fighting kind of zombies in space. That's a Dead Space thing. Problem is, it takes all this stuff from Dead Space and more. It rips off wholesale set pieces from Dead Space. So, for instance, the Halo jump from Dead Space 2, one of the most famous scenes in that game. They do that
scene
with the whole kind of avoiding shit as you're falling.
That's such a good scene.
It is such a good scene. They rip off The Last of Us, because you get a whole sequence where you go into a deep dark part of the facility where these things have been growing for years and years and years and constantly evolving. And there's been no light, so they're blind, and they clickers, and they use echolocation. But the thing is, where in The Last of Us, it would be a really kind of sculpted experience. You'd walk in, there'd be 2 clickers and a couple of normal infected around, and you had to kind of balance that out. No, what they do here is put 5 of them in a room and say, deal with it. In Resident Evil 4, occasionally when you will pop the head off of a Gyarados and like this thing will sprout out and you'll get like a much harder version of it to beat, yeah?
At night time, yeah.
Yeah, and it maybe happens once in 1 in every 5, 1 in every 10?
Not even that, probably.
But it just happens enough that it keeps you on edge.
Yes, you shit yourself.
There's a point in the story where you get a tooltip basically saying that the enemies can evolve and they can become stronger. You've basically got to attack, like, you'll hit them so much and the tentacles will pop out and you have to destroy the tentacles, otherwise they get stronger.
Yeah.
From the moment you get that tooltip, it happens to every single fucking enemy.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. It's every enemy does that. So you effectively have to kill them all twice unless you get a crit on them. The combat system does not fucking work. So the combat system is this is more of a brawler than a shooter. You do a lot more melee work than you do gun work.
That's weird.
And the way it works is the enemy comes at you and you get kind of locked into this automatic kind of lock-on system with them. They will swing at you. You have to dodge out the way. Now, it's not like I said this last week, it's not like a FromSoft game where you would press like left and circle to dodge to the left. No, you just hold one side of the stick and Jacob will automatically dodge out the way in the relevant
just
direction.
Hold the stick.
Not necessarily the direction you hold the stick. He will just dodge in the relevant direction. And then to dodge the follow-up swing, just flick the stick to the other side and he will dodge again. Then you get your opportunity to hit him. It actually specifically says this in the tutorial box that comes up. It says there is no precision window for this. Like, you don't need to time this.
It tells you.
As soon as something is running at you, just hold left, and then it'll come at you, and you will automatically dodge out the way of it.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's so half baked. The gunplay is fine. Like, I've got no complaints about the guns. The guns are fine.
They are guns.
They are guns. They shoot things. There's not many of them. The resources that
you not get like cool plasma cutters and stuff like that.
No, they're just guns.
Guns in a prison.
There's 1 pistol, 2 shotguns, a pulse rifle, and I think a grenade launcher. That's it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you do get another rip-off from Dead Space. You get the Grip, which is the telekinesis module from Dead Space. But without any of with like half the casting time, half the power of it, you have to really upgrade it to make it useful at all. It is fun to throw enemies into mulches that just happen to be in rooms. Also, this prison would fail all health and safety regulations because they just have these spinning blades in rooms for no fucking good reason. Which I decided,
I'd like to see a spin-off game where you're the auditor of that prison.
Well, the thing is, I get why they're there. It's for these cool moments where you pick up an enemy with a grip and hurl them at it, and it instant kills them. Great. The problem is, none of it makes sense as to why it's there. And I think this is the biggest failure with the game, is because the world is so static and boring. The game is linear to a fault. And there's nothing wrong with having a short linear game. The problem is, there is no interactivity in the world. It's almost like it's being taken on a guided tour of this prison, and you're not allowed to touch anything. You can't interact with stuff on desks. Like, if you take a swing at a desk with your nightstick thing, you don't knock shit off it. It doesn't interact. It's just this kind of static set dressing. There's no kind of meaningful exploration. There's no kind of, not really much in the way of hidden items. There's the occasional hidden room with a couple of items in it.
Isn't there a lot of facehuggers as well?
Well, I'm going to get to the enemies in a second because I've got lots of thoughts on them.
God.
Oh yeah, trust me, this goes. What was on? Yeah, so the world is kind of really static. The space that you're in doesn't make a lot of spatial sense. But also they've done that thing, and God of War is guilty of this one as well. I'm not giving that a pass. So many tight squeezes to go through that hide loading screens. Whether it's kind of, you spend a lot of time looking at Jacob's left shoulder. I'm not kidding.
See, I'd prefer that over the. You'd rather just have load screens. I wouldn't.
I'd rather have the crawling through the things as well.
Well, no, I'm not complaining about the concept of it. I'm complaining about the amount of them. So in one of the chapters there, I counted 10 tight squeezes and 5 vents. So
wow,
the levels are long. Don't get me wrong, but they're just not interesting. They're not memorable. Like Dead Space 2 was pretty linear, yeah, but you got a sense of the space in every room, in every area, and like
backtracking, wasn't there? In a
what
good
its
way.
function was for, why it was there, who existed in that place. Everything just felt grounded.
That nursery section in Dead Space 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, is there no memorable moment like the nursery?
No, it's just drab, dark hallways.
What a miss!
And a sewer, if that counts. You get a sewer level. There's always a sewer level.
And does it go, it stinks?
Pretty much, yeah. Very well realised shit kind of like sliding off him as he gets out of the water, but yeah, that's about it.
Pretty shit.
Yeah. Enemies. There are 4 enemy types in the whole game, and 2 bosses. So your enemy types, you've got your bog standard infected, of which there's a couple of different outfit models for them, like prisoner and guard. I think that's about it. There's a one that spits from a distance.
Ooh, are they called spitters?
I don't know what they're called. I haven't cared to look. There is the clicker type ones, and then there are ones which are the kind of 4-legged monster things that kind of run on the ceiling. They remind me of those ones from Dead Space. They were like dogs that would rush you. They like hide behind
things. Yeah,
they'd hide behind things and then like charge at you. Exactly the same behavior.
Is there no brutish ones? Big brutes?
No, there is one boss which is like a brute which you have to face multiple times.
Why?
Because story. And then there is the final boss, which is the most god-awful boss that anyone has ever encountered in a game. I'm not going to spoil him for you, but trust me, when you get to him, he's fucking awful.
He said he, everybody. It's a he.
The problem is this game is just such a fucking letdown. It is so forgettable. The story doesn't turn up until the end of chapter 5, and there's only 8 chapters in the game.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not good. The actors do brilliantly with what they've got. The graphics are incredible, but the game is just criminally dull. It under-delivers on everything that it promises. You only see Sam Witwer maybe 4 times in the whole game, and he's the best
criminal.
And he's the best thing in it.
He's the best thing in the world.
Yeah, it's a massive letdown, especially given that like the kind of pedigree that Glenn Schofield has, and like the people that he brought in either from Visceral Games or from where was he working? Sledgehammer Games when he moved from there. Like, there's a lot of quality here, and there is a lot going up, but the marketing has let it down as well, because the marketing made this out to be much more interesting a game than it is. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, don't pay full price for this game. Like I say, it's not a bad game, but it is the most turgidly forgettable game I've played in a very long time. It is the bangest of bang average.
Do you reckon they rushed it to get it out before Dead Space Remake?
No. There's no sign of it being rushed. Functionally, it's fine. They've just done a bad game. They have done poor design decisions and made a pretty boring game. There is one,
Do you know what it reminds me of?
There is one
Oh,
chapter that is great. Chapter 5 is fantastic. Chapter 5 makes me feel like that's what they wanted to do for Dead Space 3. Because the stuff it does, because you go outside onto the moon, and it's kind of creepy, and there's some really cool set piece moments. But the rest of it is all fucking jump scares, and not in the good way. Like, I died so many times where you just open a door and there's an enemy behind it that just launches out and smacks you, and you don't have a chance to react to it. There are these enemies in like kind of face hugger pods, and they have this kind of head on an elasticated tentacle thing, and it just whips out and grabs you. You have a quick time event to get out of it, but it does damage to you. But these things happen, you don't see them because they're all in shadow. If you know they're there, you can shoot them and stop them doing that. But every time you walk in a room, just this thing whips out and gets you, and you can't react to it. It's poor design.
Do you know what it reminds me of, mate? You'll remember this. It reminds me of those tech demo games that come out like Heavenly Sword.
It's very much
Even
like
though
that.
PS5 and Xbox doesn't need a tech demo at this point in its life.
Yeah.
It feels like them little... You know what I mean, don't you? They bring things out like Lair. Remember Lair?
I remember Lair,
tech
yeah.
demo.
This has got definitely for the, like, let's say the video game engine is fantastic. It looks incredible, but the actual game in there is just poor. And it's
What would you stamp a number on it? What would you say out of 10?
probably say a 4 or a 5. Like, it's smack bang in the middle. It's to the point where I would say
average.
Pick it up if you can get it for a tenner.
Can you lend it me?
I'll lend it to you. I'll send it down to you. I'll let you
send it down to me because I'm going to stream it on hardest difficulty.
You'll get pissed off. I was playing on normal difficulty for about the first half of the game, and then I got to the point where I was just dying over and over again to this one enemy. I was just like, fuck it, and I put it down to easy just to get past it, and it's just, even then, it's not interesting.
You don't understand my resolve, mate. I will play on hardest difficulty.
I'll send it down to you, and we'll see how you get on with it.
We'll get some content out of it at least. So it won't be a massive waste of money.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I know you wanted to get that off your chest because, it's not nice when you were looking forward to something so long and it just...
That's
just
been
a wet
two
fart.
this year because there's been Scorn and there's been this that have let me down massively.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Scorn.
So...
Do you know what it is? Never get hype.
EA have got to fucking pull it out the park with Dead Space in January. If they fuck up the Dead Space remake, I'll be going over there and kicking asses.
Imagine if Dead Space remake's shit and Resident Evil 4 shit. That's it. We're done. What have we got? We got nothing.
End gaming.
Not playing games anymore. Buying more guitars. Done.
I'm going to get into football.
Mate, don't get into that. That's just as disappointing. Lesser said, the better. Excellent. Let's move on to our main topic. Now, it was a patron-produced topic. The patrons have chosen poorly and decided for us to change movie titles or something. What was it?
God's sake, man. It's the easiest concept ever. Take an existing movie title and make something new out of it.
Okay. Go on then, Stig.
Okay.
Easiest concept ever.
Yep. So, I wrote a whole pitch for a film here. Film opens with a young boy watching a 1992 Summer Olympic Games. It's a 100-meter final. Camera starts over the top of his head as the men line up for the race. And as the race gets underway, the camera focuses on his face, with the light of the TV reflecting on it. As the race happens, the camera slowly zooms into his face, and we see the wonder and excitement in his eyes as the commentator announces Linford Christie as the winner. We cut to the title, Need for Speed.
My God.
It's a few years later, and we meet the boy at 12 years old. We follow him from his parents' grocery shop as he makes his way to school, kicking a football around, dribbling it around people in the streets. He passes his aunt's bar, drops her off something, grabs himself some chicken nuggets for breakfast out of the kitchen. We get to his school. We see the kid is fairly liked. He's not super popular. He's not a loner. We find out he's just well into his sports. He loves football, basketball, plays cricket. He just loves sports. He's a fairly normal childhood until one day when he decides to stick up for a kid being bullied, and the bullies chase him. And this ends up with a chase, and he leaves the bullies in the dust. The next day, the 4 bullies and the boys are brought to the principal's office as the gym teacher saw the whole thing. As the principal calls him into the office, the gym teacher grabs the boy and says, "Not you, Usain. You come with me." Need for Speed is the life story of Usain Bolt. I want to take it into a Cool Runnings style
Oh, nice.
serious comedy style kind of
It's my lucky egg.
film, because Bolt is a fun guy. He's a proper character, and I think the film should reflect on that. So obviously we're going to embellish this completely to make it proper Hollywood. So Usain's father doesn't approve, really. Sport is fun for kids, but when you get to an adult, you have to be, you have to take over the family business. You have to come work in the grocery shop. You can't.
No one made money from running.
No one made money from running, exactly. But the only person to believe in him is his Aunt Lillian, who is played by Viola Davis, obviously.
Yes.
Because she can give that film some levity and seriousness that it needs to break through the comedy aspect. Usain will always be eating chicken nuggets. Always.
He loves them.
He loves chicken nuggets, yep. So that's all you'll ever see him eating. When he's just wandering around, just picking chicken nuggets out of a box, eating chicken nuggets.
I like that.
He'll be played by multiple people. So Miles Brown from Blackish will play him in his early to mid-teens, and Keith Powers, who was in Straight Outta Compton and The Tomorrow War, will play him as the main part. So these two aren't particularly well-known actors.
Good in
Some
Straight
people
Outta
will
Compton
know
now.
them, but when I was looking up research on who could play Usain Bolt, any actor in his early to mid-20s, they were all too short. Usain Bolt is 6'5". I needed a tall actor.
Oh, God.
Keith Powers was the only one that came close. But he looks the part. So
Is he the one who plays Dr. Dre? He
I
is, isn't he?
no, he's not. He plays Tyrell or someone. Only a small part, I think he plays in it.
All right.
But
I'm getting confused then.
when I was reading up about him, people think he's an up and comer. So this is his big breakout role. The film is going to touch on Bolt's health issues. Like these are real things now. Like he was diagnosed with scoliosis. And you have to battle through that, to continue his career. We'll touch on his elimination from the 2004 Olympic Games, his poor performances in the World Championships and Commonwealth Games to follow. So you'll get that kind of story of like down and dejected, and he's going to be, this isn't for me anymore. I'm going to give up. He doesn't think that he's going to make anything of it until his auntie pushes him through, because she sees him, that she knows he's good enough. She can see that he needs it. She knows that he has a need for speed.
They keep saying it as well.
Yeah, she'll say that as well. She'll say, Usain, you've got a need for speed, and you have to get on that track.
Was this directed by Danny Boyle as well?
I forgot to put a director, but let's say yes.
Danny Boyle would be perfect for Need for Speed.
Yep. And the film's going to end with him winning his first Olympic gold medal in Beijing, and then the camera is going to pan out to see a young boy watching the fastest man on the planet win his gold medal, and then we cut to black and it goes for all of Bolt's accomplishments, and then the final words is Need for Speed. So not particularly,
Just to ring it home.
Yeah. Not particularly comedic or anything. Role. I just came up with this idea. I thought, Need for Speed. What can I do around that?
I would watch the shit out of that. Terrible title, but I'd watch the shit out of
it's
that.
a terrible title, but
Especially when you could just call it like Bolt or something like that. But then again,
Bolt with like there's a film called Bolt. Obviously, there's a Disney film
but
called
this is the
Bolt.
thing. You can use a title from another film.
Bolt would be boring. And you would have guessed what it was straight away.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Excellent use of actually a film I would actually love to watch. And I'm a bit gutted it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I don't have
Especially
the
if Danny
ability.
Boyle's attached.
He'll get made at some point. His life story will get made at some point, and they will embellish it. Like they will make things up and make.
I'm thinking it kind of like Eddie the Eagle style film. Remember that film?
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. That and Cool Runnings, where it's like it is funny, but at times it does get serious when it needs to.
Yeah.
So,
I'm into it, mate. I'm bang into it.
Needs
Candy,
speed.
what gothic nightmare have you dreamt up?
Well, let me tell you. So this is a DreamWorks computer animated comedy film. We see cuckoos flying. A cuckoo flies straight into a tree. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And so the synopsis
This
is...
concept is so fucking too much for me. I can't cope with it.
Buckle up. So, the synopsis. One night, hungry and on the prowl, Randy the Fox discovers a stash of food that Ratchet Raccoon is stockpiling for winter and starts slowly filling up his swag bag while she sleeps. Ratchet Raccoon wakes up whilst the heists are taking place. There's a confrontation between Randy Fox and Ratchet. Then Ratchet overpowers Randy and throws him into a penned-in petting zoo with a bunch of other woodland animals that she's caught trying to steal her food. Randy Fox doesn't accept his fate, and he and the other woodland animals who have been in the petting zoo for so long they can't remember what it's like to be free formulate a plan to escape. The edge of the zoo is marked by a series of cuckoo nests. I don't know. I started getting lost here. So
this concept, man, is just fucking too much.
Have you just rewritten Madagascar?
No, she's rewritten One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with fucking Nurse Ratchet as a fucking raccoon. That's what she's done.
So anyway, right, so the first plan's to burrow under the fence, so they trick a trio of ferrets to dig under the fence for them, promising that there are plenty of eggs in Ratchet Raccoon's stash. This plan fails as there's concrete flooring preventing it. The animals return to their shelters disappointed. Randy Fox gets the attention of one of the cuckoos. He asks them to pass a message on to his friends, the local vixens.
I can't deal with this, man.
He comes to the shelter to try and help. As the vixens are trying to bite through the fence, Ratchet Raccoon catches them. Angered by this, she comes up with a plan. She invites Bibbit the Ribbit, a frog, with a woodland animal.
Almighty!
We get some like plushy dolls made up of these characters.
It's a fucking show.
She invites him to come to her house with the promise of making a deal with the woodland animals. She offers him some flies and a nice bath. Bibbit the Ribbit gets in the bath, but doesn't notice the water getting hotter and hotter until he boils to death. Went a bit dark there. But I kind of wanted to, a frog boiling and Bibbit dies in one who flew over the cuckoo's nest. Anyway, this hits Randy Fox hard and he feels responsible for Bibbit the Ribbit's death. The next attempt has to work. A few days later, a child and his family visit the petting zoo. He has a remote-controlled car. Distracted by trying to burn an ant with a magnifying glass, when the boy's parents call him that it's time to go, he forgets the remote-controlled car. Randy Fox seizes this opportunity. Him and Charlie Chicken strap themselves to the car, while Chief, the mute bear, builds a ramp. And Martini the hedgehog learns how to use the controls. The car revs up, goes up the ramp, and takes off with Randy Fox and Charlie Chicken. The animation switches to slow motion as the car flies over the cuckoo's nest, with which Charlie flapping his wings to keep them aloft and outside to freedom. Ratchet Raccoon confronts them menacingly, but before she gets the chance to attack Randy Fox and Charlie Chicken, all the cuckoos from their nest fly out and peck until she's banished from the Woodland Kingdom. Starring Jack Nicholson as Randy Fox, Louise Fletcher as Ratchet Raccoon, Danny DeVito as Martini the Hedgehog, Will Sampson as Chief the Mute Bear, and Brad Dourif as Bibbit the Ribbit.
Would you need anybody as the mute bear?
Well, yeah, he grunts every now and again. He makes bear noises and has a broomstick.
You need Diesel for that, then.
You made that up from that name, didn't you?
Yeah.
You made the film. You went with the name and went, right, what can I do?
Of course I did.
Ingenious.
That's the idea.
Ingenious. Is it the idea?
Yes.
Is it the idea?
Yes.
This fucking idea of yours. Biggie. Come on. Show us what you've got.
Dear. These are quick fire, so hopefully you'll like these.
Oh, I've got quick fire
First
as well.
up, it's a follow-up to American Werewolf in London, and it follows David Kessler, the American tourist from the first film, who's thought to have been shot and killed in London, but actually his body is flown back to his family in the US. He suddenly comes back to life whilst in flight, because yes, it's a full moon, and creates havoc on the plane and manages to escape before it crashes at JFK. He runs amok in New York, particularly down the financial district, at night whilst desperately risking
I know what it's called.
answers
I know what
to
it's
his
called.
fate in the daytime. That's right, it's the Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, God, I hate this topic so much.
Love it. Love it.
Why am I laughing?
Next up,
You're a terrible
both assassins
person.
for hire. Ivanka Rumalev, a stunning KGB officer who's deadly with weapons as she is with unarmed combat. And Clint Edwards, a hulk of a man who uses advanced tech to devastating effect. Clint is framed for the assassination of a Russian diplomat that he was supposed to protect. Ivanka is sent to kill him for revenge. Plot, blah, 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 fall in love, blah, blah, work together. That's right, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, God.
I like the fact that you couldn't even get through your own pitch for that one.
It's his own fucking topic and all.
It gets worse.
Oh, no.
Next up, gore porn sports thriller with Mike Tyson and Chris Eubank, who both wake up in a room chained to the wall. No idea how they got there, and a dead referee on the floor next to a tape recorder and some cutting tools. That's right, Thor.
That's unkind. That's unkind. That's making light of people's speech impediments, and you're a cruel man.
Yes. Do you not listen to what the fuck we want this week, Biggie? Naughty man.
I've got a couple more.
It's cruel.
The story of Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards. That's right, he got heavy into heroin in the early 70s. He claimed to have been poisoned with, I think it's styrocene-laced heroin, is that right?
I don't know.
He was totally comatose
You wrote the
and was found to be totally awake. He could listen to everyone as they were there. It was like he was dead. He's dead, but he couldn't do anything about it. He's lying there thinking, I'm not dead. He's also famous for inhaling his father's ashes up his nose. He snorted his father. He was cremated and they couldn't resist grinding him up with a little bit of blow. And yes, that's Hellraiser.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Next,
I'm glad you're apologising.
next up, hilarious slapstick comedy where a family man finally has a busy household to himself, decides to cheekily knock one out when everything could go wrong. You have people delivering, family members turn up. Will he ever have that happy ending? That's right, Home Alone.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I knew exactly where that was coming. I knew exactly where that was going.
You're
And
ridiculous.
finally, Snow White has been brutally murdered. There are numerous suspects, but the dwarves need to work together to draw out the killer. That's right, Furious 7.
I knew that's what you were doing. I fucking knew it. Fucking hell.
That's it from
Have
me.
you finished?
Yes.
I'll do mine and then Gadget can do his. I've done very similar to Biggie, where I just couldn't be asked. Even though it was your
commitment that you
topic,
put into this podcast, Doodles.
I'll always commit. So the first film is starring Christoph Waltz as a Nazi propagandist looking for the perfect soldier, Legally Blonde. That's the first one. I reckon that'll be good. Next film, Nightmare Before Christmas, starring Simon Pegg. He's trying to get home from work on Christmas Eve, but the bus is cancelled. That's it. That's the film. Next one. Somalian pirates accidentally stumble upon a time vortex and find themselves back 800 BC, and the world is flooded. But there's a big wooden boat in the distance filled with every animal on the planet. It's called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I think you're going to go with Ice Pirates then.
No one goes with Ice Pirates.
Well,
Another sequel to Simon Pegg's last film. It's Pegg's birthday, and the nearby river floods, and he doesn't have content covering his house. It's called Nightmare on Elm Street. It's his nightmare.
Oh, womp womp.
No Country for Old Men. It's basically Logan's Run. You know what I mean? Mr. Charles, Oscar Schindler. Fucking Mr. Charles Oscar Schindler goes to Asda, but he's quite lackadaisical, so his wife writes him a shopping list called Schindler's List.
That's
Come on.
that's like a Tommy Cooper joke.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got Benicio del Toro in it or someone like that. I don't know. Speaking of Keith Richards, he won't die. Die Hard. There you go. That's my picks. I did not like this topic whatsoever. It's such a strange topic. You chose poorly,
Such an easy
patrons.
topic to do. Literally, me and Candy literally did it. Took the
Gadget's
title and
about to do it.
Yeah.
And Gadget is absolutely about to do it. Let's see what results we're getting.
Right. Okay. So, I'm doing this along the lines of what Stig did, which was completely make a brand new film just from the title. And the title I chose was The Dark Knight.
Okay.
So the director I'm having attached to this one is Duncan Jones, because I feel like he deserves another shot after Warcraft. For the high fantasy, because that's where we're going high fantasy. This one.
I like Warcraft.
I've never seen it, but I like Moon.
The composer that I'm going to put on this one, just because I can't get his music out of my head, Bear McCreary.
He's good, isn't he?
He's very good.
He's very good.
Very pretty boy as well.
Very handsome.
He's handsome. Yeah, I like his hair.
So this is going to star as the titular Dark Knight, Bjorn Halferson, the Mountain.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, as Trip, Anya Taylor-Joy, as Dorma, Richard Madden, as Vastrax, Dave Bautista, as Princess Fionn, Ana de Armas, and as Queen Iris, Sigourney Weaver.
He's giving them names.
I've got a fucking story and a plot here, man.
Okay.
So, in the northern lands of Ignis, there's been peace for centuries. Wars between humans and elves were a thing of memory, and the age of heroes and villains was long over. But a mistrust remained between humans and elves, and while they were able to coexist peacefully, it was never a happy peace. Both races kept apart, and rarely was there any mixing. The film starts off at a border wall, where both sides keep watch along, allowing trade caravans through. They're friendly enough to each other, but never cross the line. As night falls, screams. A huge shadow is seen walking between tents, swinging an enormous sword. When the sun rises, everyone on both sides of the wall are dead. Days later, Trip and Dorma, 2 human rangers, turn up to investigate what's happened on behalf of the Crown. They are told to work with Vastrax, an elven battle mage who is investigating for the Elven Kingdom. So it's got a 2 worlds colliding kind of thing going on here. They find the bodies are cut in half with single swipes, something that shouldn't be possible. Vastrax looks worried and talks about the legend of the Dark Knight, a demonic entity that stalks the land, meting out judgment wherever he sees fit. Trip and Dorma aren't swayed by legends and are sure there is something else at play. In the Elven capital, Queen Iris holds council. She looks bored with the day-to-day administration of the kingdom. She's told about the killings and someone comes up with the idea of the Dark Knight, which she laughs off as superstition. She suggests to send an envoy to the humans as a gesture of goodwill, but with secondary intention of trying to work out if the humans were behind the killings. Humanity's ruler, Princess Fionn, is more concerned with the idea of the Dark Knight. She's young and inexperienced as a leader, and her council try to move her away from the idea, but she orders the army to be strengthened in case of an attack. Trip, Dorma, and Vastrax are sent to a fort in the Elven lands, which has been decimated the same way as the border crossing. Vastrax becomes more agitated, reciting the legend of the Knight and how he came to be. He was once Elvenkind's strongest warrior. He went to hell itself to destroy a great evil, but even the hearts of elves aren't immune to power, and he was tempted and drawn into the bosom of evil. But he was lied to, and he became a thrall for the creature, and he was made to be something that would stalk the lands and terrorize the innocent. After he tells this story, they hear a sound and investigate. The Dark Knight ambushed them, resulting in an exciting battle. Dorma is wounded, but Vastrax scares away the knight by casting fire, not on him, but in between his armor. I think people don't forget in D&D, cast it underneath the armor. They race to the nearest town to save Dorma's life.
He's tried that once.
Yeah. Word gets back to both rulers that it is in fact the Dark Knight who is doing these killings, causing them both to accuse the other side of summoning him. They both prepare for war. With Dorma healed, they visit Elven archives to find out how to track down the Knight. They discover a spell that can be cast once per decade that would summon him. They find an isolated area and try to cast the ritual. Nothing happens. They determine that he's been summoned deliberately. Diplomacy is breaking down. In a summit between Fionn and Iris, the meeting goes badly, with accusations being thrown around. Fionn goes to storm out, but as she tries to leave, the Dark Knight blocks her way. The party rush towards the summit to warn their leaders that the Dark Knight has been summoned on purpose. They find bodies littering the shrine and that the meeting has taken place in. They burst into the main chamber to find the Knight standing over the Queen and the Princess. We get the twist that the Queen is the one who summoned the Knight. She knew it would lead to humans declaring war. She's been secretly bolstering the strength of the Elven army. She was never happy about her father declaring peace with humans, and she believes they should be destroyed. The war would destroy humanity and Elvenkind would be dominant on the continent. Vastrax is devastated, having learned to like his human companions over their adventure. Iris orders the Knight to kill them all. He moves on the Princess, and another epic fight starts. Iris escapes during this fight. The Knight is defeated, but Vastrax is mortally wounded. He tells Trip and Dorma to stop Iris before a terrible genocide occurs. He gives Trip a gem and tells her to smash it at the right time. They chase her down, but she is a competent spellcaster and a climactic fight occurs. The fight leads to the top of a tower. She pins them down, relishing in their potential defeat. But Trip smashes the gem in front of her, causing a blast of green energy which throws Iris from the tower, impaling her on the defensive structures far below. In the epilogue, Vastrax is honoured as a hero of Elvenkind and Iris's plans are being revealed. Fionn declares that she wishes to start a new dialogue with the elves to remove the animosity and the distrust, and Trip and Dorma head off on another adventure.
Nice.
What happens in Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises would be the next one.
Oh man, you can always tell it. You can tell who the author is.
Right.
Storyteller is clearly.
It's an absolutely stunning pitch, but didn't need it in this topic. Wasted.
It's like listening to an audio, but I almost dropped off. It was bedtime.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. I want to watch it, but yeah, again, this topic, man. But thanks, patrons, for choosing it.
It's fine.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that.
I like pitching a film, but
To get your juices flowing. That's what it's.
That one was actually a really interesting one to do because the constraint of having the title and you have to kind of live up to that title. So like I took that concept literally and had a Dark Knight. But it's like it sat for ages because I was sitting there thinking, what do I want to do with it? I really enjoyed it.
I don't care what you say. Christoph Waltz's Legally Blonde is going to be a good film. Telling you. Sequel to Inglourious Basterds.
I mean, I'd watch it.
Thor's just cruel. That's just a cruel film. It's not fair. Nasty. So let's see what these rotters have given us in regards to feedback.
So,
in a while.
Yeah, we've only had a couple of pieces. Xenos has said, A Quiet Place, a rom-com starring a librarian who meets a non-verbal autistic man and has to learn sign language.
Yeah, I like that.
Sounds quite nice, that one, actually. And Best Boy Angry Kurt has said, my idea is not just for one film, but a long-running franchise. Yes, it's my beloved Rocky. What else do you associate that name? Well, for me, I think of the Rocky Mountains. So my new franchise is a new entry in the whole mountain climbing disaster genre. As you know, there are quite a lot of Rocky films, and my franchise will be no different. Starring a grizzled Miles Teller as a buccaneering mountaineer. Buccaneering mountaineer? On each film, he will scale a different mountain with a crew, and something happens along the way to make the trek interesting. I would like the Top Gun Maverick director to write and direct after his stellar work on Top Gun.
Good
Don't
choice.
fucking degrace my beloved Rocky like that.
I think of chocolate bars when I think of cookies.
Fuck off. It's the best fucking saga of films ever made.
He knows
Rocky
exactly what
Road.
he was doing by taking Rocky then.
Yeah, it's fucking pissing me off.
Damn it, Candy, now you got me wanting a Caramel Rocky.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Oh, Caramel Rockies are great. The yellow ones.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes. See, we could have done best chocolates or something. I don't know.
No,
We didn't give them that option.
Kurt understood the assignment.
Yeah. Both Kurt and Xenos came through on that one, Oodles. Try harder.
They did. They always do. Try harder. They chose poorly, and Biggie's loving this because he put that fucking thing in there. I'm assuming it was one of yours, Biggie, because it's shit.
It was one of
Yeah. That's fine then.
You liked it when I first put it in there. Thank you very much.
No.
Yours to get single vote, Oodles. Just say it.
Yeah, because mine wasn't my favourite. My favourite was the one. What did we pick? What was the? I can't even remember. It was another one. I think
It was
unforgettable.
The media and the zeitgeist that you missed or you regretted.
Yes. That had a talk for hours on that because I've got loads.
Yeah, we'll throw that in New Year somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, most of the ideas we'll reuse because that's the kind of bastards we are. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk, and please consider becoming a patron to help support our endeavour and ruin our show. And please, please, please give us a 5-star review because, look, we give you the reins of producer and you produce this. Please review us. Please
Excellent.
review us.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Sure you did. Sure you did. I'm just bitter that I didn't win, that's all. It's a great concept. Absolutely stunning. Next week, what the heck? It's finally time for our live office Christmas party, part 3.
It's not even next week. It's tomorrow if you're listening to this on the day it comes out.
Oh, shit. Time. I forgot about time.
So
Next week for us now.
Yeah. We're doing it live on Friday the 16th. You will be able to hear the chaos the following Thursday if you're not able to turn up live.
Oh.
But yes,
people that have never tuned in live, please just. We've got like Stig throwing a wobbly. We've got Stig turning his computer off and being stigged. We've got Stig being really drunk.
We've got Candy being unable to speak.
Getting the gigs. Getting the giggles.
Good old.
At the end of last year, she was just like, can't speak.
I don't even remember it.
It's basically, you guys, obviously, as listeners, you weren't there at the podcast. It was debauchery in its bestest form. We were very drunk. I was stood on another person's couch that I don't know, singing fucking Gangster's Paradise. I killed Coolio that weekend.
You did.
So
Coolio died the next week.
Yeah. So imagine that, but you get to watch us live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Oh,
we've got Secret Santa. Biggie's going to do a quiz.
Oh, yeah, he is in it this year.
Yeah.
In the quiz.
Fucking hell.
If you want to get your feedback in, tell us your best things of the year, basically.
Yeah.
Games, books, TV, films, music.
You're going to get costume changes. Yeah, you're going to get costume changes. You can chat to us in the chat, and we do speak to the chat very, very frequently in that. It's a long show, so get your drinks. We don't provide the booze for you.
No.
You've got to bring your own.
Bring your own booze.
It's not good for watching with kids. It's going to get ridiculous. It gets ridiculous. But yeah, if you've never tuned into our live one, if you have, you know what you know. This is our ending to our year. This is our big. Yeah. We don't do a game of the year. We don't do that nonsense. We just get drunk.
And it is our last recording of the year as well. So after Friday coming, we take our Christmas break and we come back in the middle of January.
We might put that God of War spoiler cast in between that or something like that.
Probably,
as well, just to tide you over a little bit, because we're the kindest and most giving podcast network ever.
And assuming people are going to get God of War for Christmas.
Oh yeah. So it's gonna be sensational. Please tune in. I know some people don't like to have Twitch and stuff like that. Just get it for this occasion, and then you can delete it again. You can lurk. You don't even have.
You don't even have to be signed in. So it's twitch.tv/Modern Escapism. We go live at 8 p.m. on Friday the 16th.
Candy will get so drunk she'll gift you subs.
Oh, well, it happens every year.
Oh, yeah. She
Not
goes
this year,
sub
I'm broke.
crazy.
I want heating this year.
It's the only reason
instead.
why I log on.
Yeah. It's gonna be fantastic.
Biggie gets so drunk he takes his top off.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the bottom.
Yeah.
Sometimes the middle, which really weirds me out.
And if you're lucky, we might have a special guest tuning in as well. Who could it be? So, yeah. Please, and Gadget's thinking there. When I tell him off air what I'm on about, he's going to go, oh, yeah. Yeah. But yes, if you aren't patrons, this is it. If you are patrons, we've got a lot to discuss in the green room. So, this has been a podcast. Good night.
Bye.
Right.